Hello again, friends, and welcome to another fine edition of 151. My name is Adam. I'm wearing a robe, and I'm joined by a man with a freshly shaven head on his shoulders. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Justin.
I'm aerodynamic tonight.
Yes, you are. Did you like straight edge razor it, or just...
Nope. That's just a good trimmer job and lack of natural growth.
Nice. Oh, that's
yeah.
Fun. This is 151. Thank you for joining us tonight. You can find out more about us at 151theshow.com or this station's website.com. We're pretty much at 151 on all the social media channels, and we're on a slew of different podcasting and YouTube channels. Just head to 151theshow.com for all of your information. Tonight, we're actually going to be covering a few different things tonight. And real quick, just one quick question. Have you ever done the straight edge razor on your head?
Oh, yes. I used to do that on a regular basis in my late 20s until the maintenance on it just became too much for me. But
it's a pain in the ass, isn't it?
It is, because it's an every 3-day deal. I spent far more time and money on razors for my head than I did for my face, obviously. And the end results were good. They were stunning. I used to wax it and shine it and the whole 9 yards. It just was so high maintenance. So I'll still do it again on occasion. The last big trade show I went to before everything shut down for Corona.
Yeah.
I was in San Antonio, and I did there what I often do on one of the big shows is I found a local barber.
Oh, like a real barber?
Like a real old school, just off the Riverwalk in San Antonio barber. Hot towels, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, nice.
And got an honest to God, not just me doing it with a razor, but an honest to God, like 45-minute straight razor, massage, touch up, lotion, powder, polish, scalp, clear to the scalp. So
nice. When I used to do it when I was in college, I did it for a little bit, and it was like I would do it in the morning. And by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I had to touch it up because it would get the 5 o'clock shadow.
Oh yeah, you're putting on a shirt the next morning and it's stuck. You got to watch out for fibers as you're pulling stuff on and off.
Yeah, it's just a pain. Anyways, well, tonight, friends, as you join us here in the month of April, we've got a couple subjects we're going to dive into tonight. One, we were supposed to do a show a few weeks ago. However, somebody got hacked. Multiple times.
It was me.
We'll get to that in just a second. We're also going to dive into the last show we were going to do was actually going to be all about First Contact Day and all the announcement that Star Trek made with all the different shows. We're going to dive into that here in a little bit. Plus, there's UFO news out there. And we don't really dive into the paranormal stuff a ton, but when we do, we have a lot of fun with it. I want to talk the UFO thing tonight. But anyways, let's get to you. You lost your Facebook.
Yes. Like in a big banhammer sort of way. So I will rewind a couple of weeks, and
it was Easter.
I was at work. Well, it was actually the week before Easter where this thing starts.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes. So
oh, God,
I was at
story.
It'll be okay.
No, whoa.
I was at work the Saturday before Easter, and I got a notification that unusual activity. Okay. So I hopped on. Okay, that's weird. I did not log on that device. It's a weird IP address. Yeah. I know my IP address at home, and I know the IP address at work, and this was, neither one of them. So something weird was happening. I changed my Facebook password, went on with life. I thought, okay, that's great. Bingo, done. Easter Sunday, I'd actually gotten up early on Easter Sunday to take the dog out, and I'm sitting there, and I'm scrolling, and I'm like, well, that's weird, because that's like a friend thing that I don't recognize.
Yeah.
I hop over to my email because I know I've got a couple of emails sitting there, and as I'm scrolling through my junk mail, I get like 3 hours previous that my password had been requested. Like there was a code to change my password, like the authorization code.
Yeah.
And at this point, I am scrambling because I realize what has happened is somebody's hacked my email, which is how they got the stuff to change my Facebook password. And as I'm in the midst of trying to change the password on my email and get all that stuff, because all that's two-factor, so I got to have a code sent and do it, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I felt like it was one of the movies where, the two hackers are fighting each other, across.
Yeah.
As this stuff's going, and I get my email changed, but by the time I come back to my Facebook, it is too late. And I suddenly come to a portal that you are deactivated due to violations of the Facebook community standards. After I have gone through the link that says, hey, we've noticed unusual activity on your account, and I'm trying to get control of my account back, I got the ban hammer dropped on me midway through.
So, funny side story to this, and I kind of told you, but I actually have a screenshot of what your account looked like. And now I don't even know if I want to put it on YouTube for fear of.
Let's not actually, ladies and gentlemen, what the person who hacked me did to get me violated and banned immediately was to put my profile picture and cover page as the ISIS flag. Pretty harsh violation of Facebook's community standards, rightfully so. But man, it took me out right now. Done.
So here I am. It's Sunday morning. I wake up and I see it, and it was one of those things where you see it and you recognize it, but you don't know what you recognize it from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew it from somewhere, but I just couldn't place it. And I was like, it's either knowing you, because you never have like a regular profile picture up. It's usually like Bill Murray or the firehouse thing or something. I can't remember what it was.
No. That was a COVID night. I changed that when stuff started shutting down. That was actually, if you looked at it, like a mission patch for COVID-19. That was Operation Enduring Cluster COVID-19. That's what it was for over a year.
So I saw it, and it was one of those things where I was like, I recognize it. I don't know where it's from. I can't. Right. I just wasn't making the connection because I don't go down a whole lot of terroristic, rabbit holes. I'm a man in a robe. I'm not.
So
I was like, I was.
You're the dude at this point.
A little bit.
Deuterino, if you're not into brevity. There we go.
Yeah. So I see it. I'm like, I'm gonna have to ask him about that later because I thought it was something sci-fi related. That was my first thing.
Right.
And that's when I was gonna feel bad because I was like, well, he's gonna be a bigger nerd than I am, and I'm not gonna recognize it.
Right.
Little did I know.
Yeah.
All right, so you're shut down. I took you off like the 151 page. You made a new account.
I'm scrambling to get myself off the work page, everything else that I've got, and I appeal the decision. I upload the documentation that Facebook requests for me to upload, and after like 72 hours, they say this is a permanent decision, and we will not reverse it.
In writing.
Yes, will not reverse it. Well, there's no avenue. So real quick, if you want to argue something with Facebook, the only way to contact Facebook is to have a Facebook account so you can go through all this stuff to contact Facebook.
Yeah.
If you do not have a Facebook account or your Facebook account has been disabled, your avenues are very, very, very limited.
All right. So fast forward a little bit. You get the new account, set it up. We get to the point of recording. I think it was on Friday night, wasn't it?
It was Friday night. It was 9:00.
So here
and
we
I
are.
go to.
And at this point, I've had a week, and all I want to do is podcast.
Yes, as have I. It's 8:50. I'm getting ready to go. I get down to the office. I'm getting Zoom set up. I go to log in and see what activity has done. And I hit basically the same wall that I hit before, because now my second account has been flagged, and they're asking for basically my papers. You have paper, basically asking for my papers and identification again. Which, it was bad enough to lose the first account, because it's 12 years of, hey, on this day, and hey, memories of my kids, and
Well, at one point, I felt really
a
bad
lot of
because...
stuff that I posted for my dad when he died, and I mean, it was a lot of crap, but it was doable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing that stuck out to me was when you said it's 10 years worth of memories, and that's what you don't realize is the big thing about Facebook. Is for how many people is it more just an archive of you've done over the last 12 years?
Oh, it totally is. Every year around convention time, I get to look back and say, hey, 5 years ago I was in Orlando for a show, and 4 years ago I was in San Antonio, and 3 years ago I was in the beer garden at the Riverwalk, and that's where I took the picture of the beer and the kraut balls that I sent to Tony Conrad, and he used for a while for his thing. It's all that stuff that pops up. It's my kid and the cat that we lost several years back running around the kitchen, and her going cheese peas when she was 3 years old. It's those reminders. It's that content. It's my memories. It's 10 years plus worth of memories.
So here we are. It is let's see. At 9:02 that night, you text me the link to Zoom. All right. And I wrote you back, you text it to me.
Yes.
Yeah, well, apparently I'm kicked off Facebook again, so it's not like I can message you. I'm like,
yes.
Oh, awesome. So we get it worked out. Your account shut down again. And
because apparently at that point, my entire existence was in violation of Facebook community standards. My guess is that I have had, like I said, I've had my account for so long and had so many people that when I started going through and requesting new friends, even though I put on there, hey, my old account got hacked. This is my new account. It's okay. You can accept it. That people must have been reporting my account as a spam spoof account left and right. And Facebook freaked the F out.
All right. So to kind of wrap this up,
3 days later, I get my second account back, and a friend of Adam's comes to my aid and says, hey, I might know somebody that I can contact. If you give me the details here, I'll send it over and see what we can do. Because it's not like, look, if a celebrity gets their account hacked, it's not like they're going to shut them down and kick them off Facebook like they do for everybody else. There are ways to remedy that and to mediate that. And you happen to know somebody who knew somebody who could sort of swing that weight around. And long story short, it's a once in a million. It'll never happen again. But I got my first old account back. Now, I still have some restrictions on that account because apparently I can go back in my history and see my account status and see that I got the ban that Hammer dropped on me for that stuff. I can't go live for like another 30 days yet.
Oh, wow.
Because
but you got it back.
But I got it back. I'm not completely in the clear. Apparently I'm probably on a list somewhere because they think I actually did that, but I got it back. I got it unlocked.
I was telling my friend, I'm like, listen, if I thought he was doing something stupid, I wouldn't even ask. And I even felt bad because I asked her, I go, listen, if I feel like I'm the person that's only calling my mechanic friend when I have an issue with my car. And that's really what it felt like because this person and I, we used to work together in radio, and she has since moved out of town and has a different job at a certain place, and we'll leave it at that.
Right.
But to her, thank you so much for the help, and I hope I did it. I hope I didn't burn the one time that I need to use you for the. It's going to be one of those things. Everybody gets one, and I wasted it on you.
Right. I can tell you that we just need to get verified accounts, man. We just need to get those blue check marks for everything. I can tell you that in my direct communication, this person was extremely gracious, spoke very highly of you, which kind of threw me off for a minute, but whatever. Very gracious, and I think would be happy to help any way that she could anytime something like this happened unfairly to somebody. An excellent thank you so much.
She is a sweetheart and an awesome lady.
Good people.
Yeah, she is.
Good people.
She's very, very good people. I was like, listen, I owe you a favor. And I was thinking of it kind of in the realm of the Dresden Files, where it's like, I owe you
a favor. Yeah,
I owe you when you need something that I can help with. If it's within my power, I'll do it. You help my friend, so and you just
you'll have
to get her
my
drunk.
sword and my axe and my bow. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I always offer to repay something like that the best way that I know how, which is generally drinks and generally strong ones and generally a lot of them. So I've been known to either dole them out one by one in person or just send a bottle. So
Gondor has called.
Gondor has called. We shall heed its call.
151 will answer. Oh God! Well, congratulations on getting your count back, and to that person, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
It was an ordeal and a half, and it certainly, yes, it's something that surprisingly I've taken for granted. It's not the most important thing in the world, obviously, but it's a great tool, and it really shocked me how much it limited my ability to communicate with my customers and to do my job to a certain extent. Yeah. So,
all right. Well, there you have it. This is 151. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at 151theshow.com. Or, wait, no, at 151theshow. 151theshow.com is the website. Sorry. The robe is throwing me off tonight. I'm so comfy and relaxed right now that here I am.
The only way that you could be any more relaxed is if you were rocking a pair of Hey Dude shoes underneath with that robe.
Our plea to Hey Dude went unanswered. Gondor called and they did not respond.
Yeah. Hey Dude, come on.
Yeah, exactly. But you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and TikTok, all at 151 The Show. We're on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Please like, follow, and share. We'd appreciate it. If you miss any of that, 151theshow.com. All right, so as we get into the actual nerd stuff this week, going back to the beginning of the month, Star Trek is trying to make First Contact Day into a big deal. Their own, like, May the 4th.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, like, the rumors out there were that, we might get like a Strange New Worlds, like, inside look or something with that.
Right.
We got everything but Strange New Worlds that day.
Right.
We got the first look at season 2 of Picard, which we'll dive into a lot here in a second. We got our first look at Discovery. They changed the uniforms again for some reason.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, I saw a great meme about Discovery.
What's that?
When they're like, when they show up in the future and upgrade the ship to modern times, they're like, that's like going back 1,000 years and putting a modern diesel engine in a Viking longboat.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I had put one similar up on the 151 page. It's like sending a crude group of Vikings out on missions, still wearing their horned helmets.
Yeah. We also got our first look at season 2 of Lower Decks, which, you know what? Lower Decks may be the best Star Trek out there right now.
I went back and started watching that again. And I got to tell you, man, animated Riker still just, I said it at the time, it's the best. I need the warp in the factor of 5, 6, 7, 8. Best line.
I wonder,
coming after the whole Saru thing, like for 6 episodes or whatever, agonizing over that, to have Billy Riker, let's just get casual here. Let's just jazz name Billy Riker. Just toss that off 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, that's pure Riker. That's pure class.
It's just so he fit. You know what? I think what it is his character fits into the cartoon world really easily.
Oh yeah,
you know it and especially that one. Like of all the people you think that you could drop into that, it's like him and Quark.
Yeah, that's actually
I don't know.
Yeah,
so
that's
looking really forward to that. The Discovery stuff, big monster, gravity or something's attacking everybody, and they're getting slammed against the ship. They change the uniforms again, like I said, and there's probably going to be a lot of crying.
Here's the problem that they're going to do with Discovery. It's going to be really hard for me to care about Discovery when I've got Picard and Strange New Worlds.
Yeah. It's going to be hard for me to care about Discovery when they have an alternate dimension as their turbo lift shaft.
Well, that's fair enough. When the Enterprise is actually revealed to be the TARDIS,
it's like someone cracks open a wall and looks in there. Where the are we? But to get to the big one, there's been a lot of like fan theories and ideas of what season 2 of Picard was going to look like. And we got the big one that a lot of people thought was coming. Q.
Yes. And your quick deduction, we might have got even more than that.
A lot of people are going down that road. So in the trailer,
but you were the first one. You were the first one I saw to jump on that, man.
Well, maybe to you. I mean, I don't know.
No, I honestly think you were the first guy to jump on that. Like, I didn't see anything on that till like 3 days later, and within 20 minutes, you were texting me. You had the screenshots. You had the work done. I am giving you credit for being the first guy to figure that out.
So this finally rewatching all of the Star Trek series in a row.
Yes.
Over and over again. Finally paid off for something. Okay, so what we're talking about in the trailer Picard, we didn't really get a whole lot. We got a whole lot of hints that there's going to be something to do with time travel in it. Time's going to play a big role in this. We got the thing at the end that shows Q and the message from Q that the trial never ends, which is awesome. But the thing that we were talking about, and a lot of people probably read about it already, the Reckoning Stone from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I forget what the name of the episode was off the top of my head. Is it the Reckoning?
Reckoning.
Yeah.
Reckoning. Yeah.
It's the one that it looks like the one that Ben Sisko shattered, and it was just laying on a table
in pieces. Kind of like he'd smashed it. Yeah, put back together a little bit.
So then you run into the whole thing of Picard's an archaeologist,
right? He's
probably, and really with him turning into an android. Part of me wondered if he was going to be looking out for the because he's always had a connection to Bajor as well. That was like one of his hot button things during the series.
Well, that was his mentoring of Ensign Ro and some of the rest of it. I mean that whole Kira Nerys was originally Ro, except Michelle what's her name didn't want to get tied down into anything for that long. That storyline of Bajor and the Cardassians and the occupation and the Maquis and all that stuff originated with Picard.
Part of me started wondering, and there's a lot of things that can come up with this. Like, one of the things that's like, did he go looking for an orb to try and see if he can have an experience? To see if he's actually, still Picard.
Right.
Or is the dead body we chucked out in the trash on the android planet the actual Picard? And I'm just the copy.
Well, and wouldn't it be really interesting if now Adam sent me a couple links earlier today that pointed out that when Picard died with the artificial heart thing and Q, took him back through his history, the effects that they used for the afterlife were very similar to the ones that they used, or they're exactly the same. It's a glowing white background as the celestial temple that they used for the end of Deep Space Nine. Now, the cynic in me wants to say, if you want to show something that's beyond human comprehension, a pretty, glowing white light's an easy way to do it within the realm of a television budget. That being said, that parallel does give them an interesting opportunity to go back and say, no, Q and the prophets sort of occupy the same place. And what if the dead Jean-Luc actually showed up and said, Ben Sisko, hey, there's an android copy of me running back around there, and he needs your help.
It's possible. I think the other big clues to what this season's going to be like is the book that's in it. I believe it was Paradise Lost, wasn't it?
Milton, yeah.
Where it basically, I haven't read it enough to know exactly, but I know it's a fight between heaven and hell, angels, demons, that sort of thing. What if the prophets and Q are just opposite sides of the coin? Or
that would make Q a Pa-Wraith, wouldn't it?
Or what if they're kind of like going to the Dresden Files, where they talk about Uriel and Mab being kind of in the same line of work,
right?
Kind of that kind of thing. What if Q is the cool version of what he is, and the prophets are the nerds, like the less exciting version of him.
Well, if we go down the road that we have a whole plane of existence for beings like Q, the prophets, Trelane from the original series,
Guardian,
some of those
Guardian back,
the Guardian, all of those sort of extra planets or extra planar entities.
Yeah.
So, okay, so maybe you have instead like Q's at the top of the heap, just under God or whatever, and then you have the prophets over here in the pod race. They're like the weird cousins, and Trelane and his whatever are over here. If Trelane's not actually a Q, maybe there's a whole pantheon, like you're saying, of those kind of beings. Anything's possible.
I don't know. Maybe that's how Guinan kind of ties into it, because she's supposed to be in this as well, and that her and Q have a history. Which, by the way, one of the best memes I've seen in a while is the picture of Guinan like doing the fighting stance or whatever, and it was Picard saying at that moment he knew that Guinan had overestimated her fighting ability.
Right. One of the things that I do think is interesting about this is it kind of makes me wonder whether it didn't get out that they were contacting Avery Brooks about being in season 2, and that's kind of why they floated that whole, maybe there's talk of a Cisco series, but Avery wants it to talk about some social issues and some things like that. Well, what better way to talk about inclusion and some of the draws parallels for some of that than Jean-Luc Picard, a guy who obviously very well respected, a Starfleet legend, now being treated like shit because he's a synth. That's a pretty direct parallel to be able to be drawn if you want to throw some social issues in there.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
As long as they don't go too woke with it, I think we'll be fine.
I was wondering more if there is a balance in the universe. Like you brought up all the different entities, like the Guardian, Q, the Prophets, the Pa-Wraith. If maybe that's out of whack.
So the prophecy says the boy will bring balance to the Force. I mean, not the Force. What are we going to call this one?
What's something we use in Discovery? That should work, right?
Well, Captain, we used to talk about, phase alignments and various crystals and magnetic harmonics. Now we just say time crystals.
I saw that.
We're not even trying the technobabble anymore. We're just saying magic.
So, I don't know. I feel like there's going to be you're obviously going to have Picard trying to figure out if he's really Picard this season, right?
Got to.
I mean,
got to have a nice existential crisis.
I mean, you're going to have that. You're going to have what you said, other people and how they view Picard. Is he really Picard, or is he just some android now?
You will always have people who say that the real Picard, even though they claim, an uninterrupted transfer of consciousness, whatever, and that his body was now empty, devoid of consciousness or whatever, you're always going to have people who say, no, you tossed the real Picard out in the trash heap on that android planet.
Yeah.
Like you said.
I hope they actually go through that. Did they actually give that body a burial, or did they really just throw it in the trash?
I hope they went full Viking pyre, although after the way that the rest of the Picard family went out, that's a little rough.
You're not wrong. You know what? There's also been some articles lately that, especially with some of the hints towards this and, what we're getting in Discovery and the time travel stuff, that there was also an idea if they want to do a huge crossover with Picard, Discovery, and Strange New Worlds. And now there's the talk of they're talking about wanting to do like a giant like Avengers Endgame level movie.
Right.
And
they did announce like a no details frickin' movie date.
Yeah, which by the way, I forgot about the movie. I like how they said, "Hey, we got a movie coming out." Okay, what's it about? We don't know. When's it coming out?
No details.
2022 was it, or 2023?
3, I think.
Do you have any stars? Nope. Do you have any idea what it's going to tie to? Not a clue. It's like, okay, all right.
Here's the thing, though, and I do have to look. I love Patrick Stewart, but right now, I mean, that dude's the same age basically as William Shatner. And if somebody told me, hey, we're going to hang the future of everything on the back of Bill Shatner, I'd go, that dude could kick off at any minute. And to a certain extent, you gotta worry the same thing about Patrick Stewart at some point.
And I would hate for him to do it. I mean, I hated that they put him in the android body. I think that cheapens what he did and what he does.
Right.
Am I glad he's still around? Yes. I'm not going to lie. I'm glad he's still there. But do I think him saving a planet of androids for Data was a little bit better way for him to go out? Yeah.
Yeah.
But being in an android body, they're saying, oh, yeah, we made it to do this, this, and this. It's going to be in this part of your life and so on and so forth. Part of me thinks that might be bullshit. That, like, what if he just all of a sudden whips out awesome strength? Or, hey, by the way, did you know you could dial the clock back on this thing? Oh, my God, look at this. He's got hair again.
Right. I'm suddenly James McAvoy.
Yeah. Well, there's been talk about that. There's been talk about Tom Hardy maybe being a part of something. I mean, they're kind of setting up. I mean, especially when you put Q into the level. And I've always wanted to see Q on a bigger level. I always thought he deserved a movie.
There's a lot. Okay, so it's very hard to go like big level with Q and still keep him as both the good guy and the antagonist, depending on, the circumstance. Whether it's I'm going to do horrible, evil things by human moral standards 1 minute, and I'm going to show up with a mariachi band and be hilarious the next. I mean, it's a really hard. Because inevitably, if they want to go big with him, they're going to have to say, "This is what you are now."
No, I don't.
And
think
not give him the wiggle.
See, I don't think you have to. I think it's more along the lines of. I'll give you a great example of when they did the holodeck scene in First Contact.
Okay.
When they did like that whole setup and the scene with the Dixon Hill stuff,
Ensign Lynch.
Huh? Yeah. That whole thing, I mean, they had the budget to go to a place that was, and they just made it in holodeck, right? I think if you have a budget to make Q, actually give it like, hey, I'm going to snap my finger and all of a sudden we're going to be in a different place, then all of a sudden it takes on a whole different meaning. I think it's more of a budget.
There's something to that.
I think I more want to see Q with a big budget than anything. That's what I want to see.
Right.
So
right, you want to see unlimited Q. You don't want to see TV restraint Q.
Yes, exactly. I want to see if he's going to do a mariachi band. I want it to be the whole they're in Mexico City. That's what I want.
You want to see $2.5 million on a 30-second throwaway shot.
Oh, where was it? In Three Amigos.
Oh, geez. I could have told you until you put me on the spot like this. Oh my God.
It's a sweater.
You want El Guapo's guys to come out.
I want him to all of a sudden be at El Guapo's place.
Right, exactly.
Oh, now I have to look it up, and there's somebody yelling at us right now that is like, how do you not know? Hold on.
No, believe me, we know. Okay.
You know how much rattling around up here? A lot.
Right. To try and recall all this stuff when you're doing it live and recording it. There you go.
Hey, I pulled the Reckoning tablet out of my ass after seeing the Picard trailer. Leave me alone.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think I hope they don't screw up Q. That's like the one thing. Like, I hope they don't.
You know, the one thing that I did read is that they said, hey, we're actually going to have an end game when we start filming this time.
Yeah.
And not just kind of wing it like we did with the first season. So that makes me feel a little bit better, too.
Yeah, it could be interesting. By the way, one last Star Trek thing. I saw a guy on TikTok that he was doing a review of the Eagle Moss USS Zheng He.
Yeah.
That ship's a lot better looking than they gave it credit for.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not perfect by any stretch, but I went through and I looked up the model and stuff. I was real close to buying it.
The Eagle Moss stuff is outstanding and probably the next thing that if I'd actually start, I'm afraid if I start, I won't be able to stop.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's exactly the problem. I can't stop.
And at this point, I'm going to have to start making some choices soon because I'm running out of shelf space.
This is 151. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, all at 151 The Show. You can find all the other stuff, 151theshow.com, where we're on Podbean, Spotify, Google Play, or Google Podcasts, or whatever the hell it's called now, YouTube, and all
wherever your finest podcasts are sold.
Exactly. Please like, follow, and share. We'd appreciate it, 151theshow.com. For all the other details. As we kind of wrap up, because we're getting long in the tooth, I just want to hit this real quick before the shameless plug. So apparently UFOs may be a real thing.
Yes.
For all the fun that we've made fun of people about UFOs and all of this other stuff, they may be a real thing. There's a story that we're recording this on the 18th of April. Long story short, this video came out. It was from the Navy. It was like a night shot of the sky, and there was a triangle something flying around. Department of Defense comes out.
Several of them, and it was kind of leaked. There was some reporting done on it by some of your, not necessarily saying far out websites, but not exactly ones you'd expect to get a lot of, Pulitzers for journalistic integrity and truth in reporting. But they had this video and they made some interesting claims. Fast forward 2 weeks later, pick back up.
Department of Defense comes out and says, we don't know what it is.
It's a real video.
Wait, what?
That is 100% legit.
That's and now all the news agencies are carrying it. I mean, it was on Good Morning America, it was on CNN, it was on all the local channels. This video, and I think what the bigger story of this is not that there was something that they couldn't identify, but I think the bigger story here is the Department of Defense going, we don't know what it is.
There's a couple things with that. Number one, this isn't an isolated incident. This is coming after the Tic Tac video and several stuff that's been released that they've confirmed the authenticity of. It also comes as the Department of Defense is on a countdown timer because love him, hate him, indifferent to him, whatever. Ted Cruz was one of the guys who pushed through the countdown for the Department of Defense to declassify all this stuff in that first COVID relief bill, and it got passed.
Wow.
So they are now granted, do they really going to turn over everything? Are they really going to declassify it all? Well, nobody knows what's there to know what they're going to declassify, but they are under congressional and presidential directive to declassify this stuff. So under those circumstances, there's no reason for them to say, yes, this is, or deny it when they have to do it soon anyway.
That's the thing. Like, you think back 10 years ago,
Right.
Not even that. If you brought up something in the UFO world, you were. I'm not saying it was aliens, but I'm a man in a robe saying it was aliens.
Right. You had the ancient aliens guy up there with the weird hair, and I mean, it was met with derision.
I think it's a big deal, man, because you look at some of the other governments around the world, and I'm not saying they do it right or wrong, but there's some governments out there they're kind of hot and fast with the UFO stuff. They're like, yeah, hey, here you go. This is the information we have.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh, and they're actively pursuing it. They don't take any, they don't provocate about it at all. They just say, yes, we actively pursue this stuff.
Well, I would. There's no way that the United States government is not pursuing it. They're just not saying they are. But now you think, okay, what else are they going to tell us?
Well, I read an interesting article. Well, they're not going to tell us a lot, quite frankly. I read an interesting article the other day that they keep seeing this stuff around military installations. So obviously everybody knows about like stealth fighters and where they have the radar profile of this stuff is designed to be different or smaller or whatever than what it is, so it doesn't get classified as a plane. I read an interesting article the other day that said not all of this, there's stuff that can't be explained, but some of this stuff, like maybe even the triangles and some of those
the deltas is what they're called.
The deltas. That could probably be achieved through the use of dumb drones that actually had their radar signatures modified to appear bigger than what they are, and that some of this may literally just be old-fashioned espionage by other countries, whether it be pick your flavor of the week, whether it be Russia, whether it be China, whether it be Sweden, whether it be Tajikistan, who knows. But literally just fleets of stupid drones, small ones, with modified radar signatures that they go, well, that doesn't match up to anything that we know and we can't see. Because they said, okay, you can't make a aircraft that size do what the maneuvers that they were doing, but you could make a small one.
Yeah.
So if they were feeding fake data, some of this could just be old-fashioned espionage. That being said, I really want to believe it's UFOs.
Well, you get into some of the old stories about some of the different. I can't think. There's a case name for it, but it was one of the
Project Blue Book.
No, Project Blue Book is like the whole thing,
50s,
like the study of. But there's cases in that where UFO shows up over a military base that has nuclear weapons, right?
Right. And
it shut them all down.
Right.
That it completely, like, there's nothing the people in the base could do. Everything in the station, and again, I'm not a complete expert on this stuff. I read enough to know a little bit, but to give you all the details on it, it's just, there's some weird shit out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough out there that makes you think, okay, there's something going on. Is it aliens? I don't know.
Right.
Is it high technology? Probably.
Well, and for the first time to go along with that DoD stuff of them saying, hey, we don't know what this is, they have gone so far as to say, if this is a terrestrial operator, they have technology not only that we can't explain, we don't even understand.
Yeah.
And for the U.S. government to make that admission is pretty huge. But who's that? Who's out there that's that technologically advanced over us?
Yeah, but you know what? It may not be another country. Look at SpaceX.
Right.
You start thinking of going down the road of maybe it's not different countries, maybe it's companies that are doing this stuff that have technology. Because look how far SpaceX has gone in 20 years. I was just listening to a Coast to Coast replay of a guy that wrote a book about Elon Musk. And what they did from, like the beginning of the 2000s up until now is extraordinary.
Right, because you have a scenario where, look, if a U.S. government program launched 3 rockets in a row like that and blew them up and said these are absolutely successes because we learned stuff, and we're going to keep doing it, they would have their funding yanked like that.
And they say
you would
that's
have
the
somebody
big difference.
on Capitol Hill being grilled. You saw you're wasting the taxpayers' money. We're just seeing failure after failure.
Yeah.
That's my old congressman, by the way. Meanwhile, Elon just sends out a tweet and said, "Hey, that was a massive success. We know what happened. We're gonna fix it for the next one."
Yeah.
And they roll another one out and send it up. That's how breakthroughs are made. You can't do. That's why guys like Neil deGrasse Tyson, who said, "You will never see private company." There's a famous tweet of his from like 6 years ago. "You'll never see private industry take that risk," and blah 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 blah. Screw you, Neil deGrasse Tyson, three name mother. Not only is Elon Musk going to Mars, he's going to make my internet better. Get on that, Elon. Come on.
It's just, you start thinking about that, and it's like, what if it is in another country or something like that? What if okay, let's go down the road of it's not alien life and it's not another country. What if it is some company that's just like, hey, we figured out artificial gravity.
Yeah, there's 3 guys at Boeing who know about it, and they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah,
because either the government's going to take it right away, or maybe it's not 3 guys at Boeing. Maybe it's 3 guys that used to work at MIT who had a piece of government research that went, oh crap, we just figured this out. The military is going to use it, and we're going to disappear. And now they've got a ship, and they don't know what else to do with it. Like the kids from that 80s movies, Explorers. Yeah. Maybe it's something like that.
Maybe. I don't know. It just, you get into such weird territory when the government says, I don't know what it is.
Right? And don't try and lie about it. They just say, we don't know. That's really never happened before. So we're completely in an unexplained territory here.
Yeah.
Or unexplored territory, rather.
Oh, God. Seriously, if you get a chance, if you ever get to learn a little bit more about Elon Musk, that guy is interesting, to say the least.
He is. I don't fall down and worship at the shrine of Elon like some guys do, but to say, hey, we're going to put 30,000 satellites in orbit over the next 5 years, and then to start doing it. I mean, that's stones, man. I mean, that's follow through. Nobody's had the drive and the will just to go do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big thing.
Well, did
you see the video of the monkey playing Pong?
No.
Okay, so one of the other Elon Musk companies with this Neuralink stuff that they say they're going to have, artificial arms and stuff running off their head. They got a chip in a monkey, and he starts out by, using the controller and getting his rewards.
Yeah.
And then they unhook the controller, and then they read it off the chip. And then pretty soon he realizes, I don't need the controller, and he's just playing Pong off the chip in his head.
I've seen that. That there was some, God, what was it? I feel like it was a Josh Gates thing or something, some show like that where they were showing something similar, not playing Pong, but here, move that square from over here to over here.
Right.
Or, something like that.
The video is only about 3 weeks old at this point. Go check it out. It's called Neuralink, I think.
All right. I will tell you this, if I ever, God forbid, lose an arm or whatever, I don't want it to look human. I want it to be like a Terminator arm, where it's as metal and like scary looking as possible.
Depends. If it's my right arm, I'm going to need at least a human hand.
I'm going to need a glove.
Something.
Perfect. All right, friends, that's going to do it for us tonight. We are 151. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all at 151 The Show. We are on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and a bunch of other stuff. Please like, follow, share, and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel as well. If you missed any of that, 151theshow.com. We can't end without a shameless plug.
Cue the music.
All right, friends, this is the part of the show where we shamelessly plug the shit out of something. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a restaurant. It could be a tire iron. It could be a tool. It could be a painting. It could be an experience. Whatever you want. We'll start with Justin tonight.
I would like to shamelessly plug the good people at Type 1 Tactical. They are the people who make the case for my insulin pump.
Oh, cool.
And it is the best, most well-designed. It's a heavy-duty vacuum form plastic, and it's built basically exactly like a gun holster. The guy who makes these, he started out in his garage. I think he's hired some people now because he was so far behind. The demand was so high. I waited 3 months for this thing, and it was worth every day. He is, I think at this point, ex-law enforcement. He's a type 1 diabetic. It is durable. It is rugged. And they also made this awesome t-shirt, Guns, Coffee, and Insulin.
Perfect.
3 things I need to get me through my day. But they are out there making fantastic cases for my life changing pump here.
What are they called again?
So Type 1 Tactical.
And you know the website, or we'll just put it at the bottom of the page?
I'm pretty sure type1tactical.com.
All right. If it's not that, I'll put it at the bottom of the page. All right,
Okay.
Cool, man. Good deal. Good place to end.
They're awesome.
All right, everybody. Have a great rest of the night. Hope you enjoyed the show tonight, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.